Previously. In the last chapter, I survived raptors and allosaurs. I even survived a flock of microraptors and a manky terror bird. I even took on with my bare fists a ravaging horde of raptors and scorpions, but succumbed to two mangy, scruffy hyenas. This is Ark Survival Evolved. I'm playing on the Node Ark Servers with a whole pile of listed members. You can find them in the Discord in the link below. Welcome to my channel. Let's get into it. Okay. This is my base as it stands at the moment. Still a work in progress. That's obviously the border of the map. I've got a raid protection in place. Thank you, Free Hong Kong, one of the admins. I do appreciate that, mate. Good on ya. Always good. Hence the greeny shield around me. So I got offline raid protection for a couple of days. That gives me a little bit of a chance to get things set up because the base is pretty shambolic. Hard to see through the raid protection shield, but it really only has just a couple of turrets at the moment. One there, one over there, with very little ammunition in them. I do have a few tames underway, that's good. Even got a few eggs. I've got myself a Anki underway here. I try not to use too much of the in-game purchase system. I love Ark, but that's something which I will use from time to time. I have done it before, just because I really wanted to give it a go and see what it was like. Just getting some basics. I'm only using these really for just farming. I'm not using them for anything else, so whether it's a level 100, 150, it doesn't really matter that much. Not for when you're doing solo, because once you stick it in the into the soul terminal, they pump up the levels anyway, so it's not really a big deal just to get some of the basics underway. I think that one should be alright. I'll come back and check it in a minute. Found a nice little taming spot here. The next thing I really need to do is just pump out some electronics. Polymer is pretty easy to get. You get that off the dead whales on the shoreline. Electronics is a little bit tricky. If you've got tons of metal, it's not hard, but I don't have tons of metal at the moment, but I won't be too far away from doing that. I could, of course, jump over to Extinction. We'll see how I did go. I might do that in another day or so. We'll just see how we go. You want to have tons of electronics, tons of metal, and tons of polymer, just so I can get the defences up, and ultimately I'll stick I might stick an industrial forge up the top here. You know, the base is not hidden, it's just sitting here. Industrial forge up the top, maybe a few other bits and pieces. If you lose them, you lose them. It doesn't really matter. Over here, yep, you think that's a nice easy spot. People, this is probably the spot that I'll get raided from. Let's have a look over here. You can't walk any further than this. So those turrets there are set to low range, and I think that should be okay. I'll also put defences up. I'll put a tower over here, so they have to soak one tower to approach here, and down underneath, it's far enough down here. They can't land here. I've checked it. You can't land really very hard. And down here is just too far away from the turrets. I need to get some turrets underneath the base. It is all a work in progress. Alright. Let's just... What are we doing at the moment? I'm just letting that Anki tame up a little bit. And I was going to go do some drops, actually. I've got everything else brewing. Everything else is looking good. Oh, listen to those hyenas. Alright, let's just get ourselves some obsidian, stone, flint, and of course metal. Let's clear the top of this hill here, just get some metal. I gotta love those hyenas. Let's get my bird up here. Let's get a bit closer. I need to go get some more metal nodes here. I think there's more over here. Man, those hyenas are loud, or wolves, or whatever they are meant to be. Looks clear. Always drop your Anki at the start and walk your bird to the end. Always saves time. Because you want to clear things towards and walk towards where you're going to get picked up from. So as you finish, you get closer and closer to your transport home. It's just a sensible way to do it, really, isn't it? Alright, let's just get ourselves a big stonking pile of metal before we head back. And then we will be rocking. So the base is coming along nicely. It's looking good, to be honest. Well, sort of, anyway. Not really 100. It's one of those bases which I got started on and then thought that it would be a good spot, but as I've progressed on it, realised it's not the best of spots, but nonetheless, I'm committed. So what I'm going to do now is just, I've got a good pile of metal on the brew, I've got some other things on the brew, gunpowder on the brew, my levels are still pretty average, I need more levels, but I'm not too stressed about that at this point in time, just enjoying playing the game. I'm looking for some doeds. Now I've seen them around here because I'm going to tame myself quickly a doed. I've got some kibble. I picked that up at a drop, which was nice, makes things a lot quicker. I'm sure I've seen a whole pile of doeds around here. And then I'm going to jump over to Extinction, smash out a whole pile of electronics. It's a real fast way to do it. And we'll just see how it goes from there, really. That's the idea anyway. Now I've been flying around this redwoods. I've yet to be jumped by any thylacoleos, so I don't know, do they exist here in Valguero? Maybe they're only in certain parts of the redwoods, but I haven't really seen any yet. Okay, where the hell are these doeds? I am bloody sure I had seen a whole stack of them. Maybe they were down in this bit. I hadn't seen a whole stack of them right now, but I thought I'd seen quite a few of them around. Yet again, I'm not too fussed about the level because put them in the soul terminals and they will quickly level up when you are offline. So that's, oh, there's one. Yeah, I knew I'd seen them around here. So I am, as long as it's not like level 10 or anything, level 85, that might do the job. I might just grab it and tame this one right here. Yeah, I might. Now, don't ever tame in the redwoods. It's just so hard. Definitely, if you're going to be taming in the redwoods, you want to have set up a location where you can tame things a little bit safer, because just a lot of things come your way which are going to mess up your tame. And on these souped up servers, obviously it's not such a big deal, but yeah, you really want to be a bit careful about it because you don't want to waste your time. Ark is about being efficient in what you do and knowing the ways forward and the processes you need to apply. So for the purposes of this, I have set myself up an incredible taming location, which I'll show you in just a second. Sometimes it's hard to orientate your way around the redwoods, but as I said, it's okay at the moment. I'm flying under the trees, which I would not normally do in some of the other maps because you would get jumped. And that could be a pain in the ass. It wouldn't, a thylacoleo wouldn't kill me. I would take it and probably be able to cool my bird down, but what can happen is, as has happened earlier on, is I can be jumped by a thylacoleo. That's all good. I'm fighting that off, and then you get jumped by raptors, and you get jumped by this, you get jumped by microraptors, and before you know it, you're in deep shit. So this is my highly I've worked really hard on this taming location and I hope you appreciate it. Yeah. That's my taming spot. Now, if it gets angry and swings that big club of its on its back hind legs, it's going to ruin these rocks. But they tend to, as long as you're not close, it won't swing because it knows it can't swing. It'll just freak out a little bit. So it's only level 85, but that's going to do my, that'll do fine. Just want to tame this up with some kibble. It won't take long at all. Okay, we're just going to see if we can get over to Extinction. I've got a few basic building materials. Oh, there is a drop right there. That could work out well. A few basic building materials. I've got my cryopits, got my RG, got my doed. And I'm going to go smack out primarily to get electronics on Extinction. Now, redwoods drops, just need to make sure that it's all clear before I do the loading up. Now, if I remember correctly on these clusters, you don't have cooldown times. You see, the last time I was here, I got attacked by all sorts of stuff. I really did. What have we got down there? We can see we've got a microraptor flying around. Want to make sure that microraptor buggers off. Just going to do a good circle around. What have we got down there? Compies, that's okay. Where did that microraptor go? Everything else down here? Looks okay-ish. We'll find out. I hear compies already. Let's just check the timer on this one. 30. Okay, we just kill these compies. Here, another one. There's another one here. Oh god, there's a bloody... Oh, this is typical. Should be able to kill everything quite quick. Come on, I haven't got all day to kill you, RG. Okay, I think that's everything. Okay, let's just double check. Travel to another server. Oh, that's some good rounds there. And take that and that. Find the polio. No. Travel to another server. Do I have a cooldown time? No, it looks all good, so we'll cancel. We will quickly cryopod. Got a tiny bit of time left. I don't think I missed. Was he carrying anything in particular? Just a ton of wood. No, that's alright, we'll worry about that. So let's travel to another server. We will travel to Extinction. Double check. Join with Survivor. Nice. Oh well. See how we go. I do remember sometime that if you're carrying too much, it would just kick you off. Oh, we'll find out. Alright, so far so good. Anything around me I need to be aware of? Stegos. We're all good. Let's get the... that is the RG I've got out. Yep. Get that RG out. Get on the RG. And I've got a cooldown obviously before the next ability to throw out. So we will, in the meantime, set up a tiny little hidden base here. I've played on this map Extinction a ton. I have played on Extinction as... now firstly, I have no idea where big bases are and I could fly straight into turrets here, so I have to be conscious of that. I played on Extinction as a solo, I played on a mid-level tribe, I've played on a big alpha tribe. Yeah, I know this map pretty bloody well. So there is a small spot where I will build a very small base. This is a good spot. And where are we? We are here. We need to go back over this way a bit. I have a very, I won't say well mapped out, but I have a well mapped out process of getting all the, not all, but a good pile of lampposts and solar panels, etc. Up here is a good spot for a tiny wee base. Now the reason for it being a good spot is that, I'll just jump off here, is that these big vines here aren't like a lot of foliage. They stay rendered in at a distance. So what I'm going to do is just put a small base down here. It's only going to be very small because this is a, I'll describe it as a super temporary base. It's not my main base, but if I get wiped on the other server, it could become a base. It actually works really well here, and a couple of the reasons I would normally build this in stone, because stone is harder to see. And I will put a box down here. I'll put the box right over here because metal has a glowy, a shiny aspect to it. And just to give you an idea of what that little base location is like, firstly you can see in the distance there, look directly ahead of me, you see the vines on the building, they aren't like a lot of other foliage, as I said, they actually don't render out. So if I turn around, I'm just going to stop here. That's where my base is, directly in front of my head there. I'll just lower it down so you can see a bit. Yet again, the vines stay rendered in at a distance. It also is in the shade. It's almost permanently in the shade because it's got an overhang. And the second thing is perhaps more importantly, it's not what I would call a line of flight. When you want to build a base on a map, you need to be checking where people tend to fly. And as you can see, if you fly this way, there's a set of vines here on your right side. You've got cover down there, it's the base down there. If you build that in stone, it's really hard to pick. But I can't be bothered today. It's only a temporary thing. But it's not a regular line of building here. And you've also got a terminal just around the corner here, which can be quite useful. Anyway, let's get this doughed down and start smacking out some bloody lampposts. Lampposts or seats is the easiest way to do it, by the way. If you haven't done it before, I'm sure everyone has. Normally have to clear a few things out, like spiders. Just take the spider webs, smack them out. Easy days. Nothing else around? No, good. Right, we'll throw this dough head out. Yep, we're good with the timer. Beautiful. Jump on it, start smacking. Now to make electronics, obviously that would take me a whole pile of metal and take me ages, and of course I'm just smashing them out of the park here. Sometimes you just got to get the swing right. I don't need the metal. I could take everything here. What I will do actually is I will carry as much as I can on this RG and take it all back. I reckon I can do this whole lot. Oh, yeah, I think I can take element dust back. I will find out. I will take everything, put it all onto this RG. I don't need the crystal. I don't need that much crystal, to be honest. That will be a bit of a waste of my time. We'll keep leveling this doughed up as we go, particularly in the weight category, because I need that when you're a single player, and then eventually into the damage. I can actually just fly around with it in my grasp, but to be honest, it's easier doing it this way. Basically, as soon as it hits its weight limit, it will stop swinging, and that can be a bit annoying. So you're better off doing it this way. And don't need the crystal. I really don't need the metal, to be honest. I'll just keep the element dust and the electronics. This isn't going to take long at all. I should be able to load up all the element dust into here. That will be useful eventually, not at the moment, but it will be useful. And I've got about 6,000 electronics there. Beautiful. And time to travel to another server. Yes, I'm going to do that. Let's head back to Valguero. Right on back home. Don't forget to tap out that like button and consider hitting the subscribe button. That would be brilliant. See you in the next chapter.